When we speak, we often feel like we're doing it to help others. But what if the person it's helping the most is you? Let's talk about that. Hi, my name's Steve Kidd. I am a third generation minister, international best-selling author of 39 books and counting. I've had the wonderful privilege of working with nearly 5,000 people, helping them write, publish, market their books to bestseller, and everything that goes beyond that. But of course, what I really do is I'm here to help you be clear in who you are and what you're meant to do that thing in this world that only you can do, to maximize this gloriously wonderful day that we call today. And we want to talk about how sharing your story heals you first. You see, and I've become acutely aware of it at this event that I'm at. Those of you that are noticing my background is a little different than normal, and I'm in my branded t-shirt and I've got my little lanyard on and all that kind of stuff. Um, One of the things I've become acutely aware of is how much talk there is about all the things you can do, but not a lot of talk about how to clearly know those. I was listening to a person, and this is an AI summit, so everybody's talking about AI, and they're talking about putting your bio in, putting the settings and the info that you put on ChatGPT for it to know who you are and how to be able to do the things that are like you. But that person, and there's been a couple others that have really hopped over the who am I? Why am I? What does that mean kind of thing. And a lot of that comes from, I think, this whole concept of really not understanding what our story is for, really not understanding that it does heal us first, really not understanding who we are. And we need to really be in touch with us. You see, and I'm not saying by any means that there aren't going to be hundreds of thousands of millions of people that are going to be impacted by all that you do in the world. But even if it was only one, and even if that only one was you, that would be more than enough. We need to really be a healthy individual. I'm going to give you the definition for healing, healthy, heals you, those kind of things. Because when I talk about your own healing, your personal healing journey, your mental health, those kind of things, what I'm talking about and what I'm thinking about in those cases is I'm thinking about your um, striving for and living to be the best you that you can be today, being acutely aware of the mistakes that you made in your past as well as the victories. You see, and that's the thing. A lot of us know, oh man, I blew it in this case and I blew it in that case. I spent a lot of years, wasted a lot of years in the space of apologizing to myself, to others, to my kids, to just every kind of thing. Apology, apology, apology all over the place for things that are in the past. And I'm not saying that if you've done something that you haven't apologized for, to just skip over that step. Uh, uh, you know, Asking for forgiveness is absolutely important. It really is. Um, but there's another piece of that, and I want to give you both parts of the second piece of that. Number one is you need to understand forgiveness is for you. Forgiveness isn't for the other person. Okay. And I'm talking about you getting forgiven by them or you forgiving them, both ways. Okay. In either case, that lack of forgiveness is what um, kind of leaves you chained to them. We've talked about this a couple of times over the course of the last couple of weeks. And you're literally unhooking it, like this lanyard, if I took and I unclipped the little clippy thing here from the top of it, if I took it off at the top of my head. All right. If I take the earphone out of my ear, I got to bring it back in because it's got the mic on it, right? We're releasing ourselves from that. Conversely, I could unplug it from the computer and I could, still have that, if it's something that's useful to you, but not have it be chained to that anymore. Okay. So that's number one. You need to understand fully and clearly that forgiving others and asking for forgiveness from others is for yourself. Okay. Now, there is some massive benefit in going to people that you've wronged and telling them you're sorry. Some of them are going to accept it. Some of them that'll do amazing things in their life. Some of them, in fact, I'm even going to go a little crazy here and say a lot of them may never accept your apology. Okay. And we need to detach ourselves from that adamant need or beating up of ourselves that comes from other people's unwillingness or inability to be able to accept our apology. It is what it is. Okay. And they have the absolute, total, perfect right to be able to hold on to whatever they want to, need to. That's totally normal. Okay. And that's okay. It really is. Okay. That doesn't mean we don't say that we're sorry for the thing. Okay. But there is, I needed you to understand that clearly first. Both ends of the spectrum. People you've wronged that you've said you're sorry to, people that have wronged you that you forgive. Okay. But opposite sides of the same coin, we do it for me. We do it for ourselves. Okay. We release ourselves from that chain. That's part one. Part two of that, though, is we really have to then move on, let it go. We have to dismiss ourselves from that person's response or reaction. The difference between a response and reaction is immediate. Response is something that's usually considered opinion. Okay. Um, whatever response or reaction they have from it, you can't control that. That's their side of stuff. Okay, now I want to be clear that I'm talking about you genuinely have said, I'm sorry for that thing. Okay. But once you've done that, and this is really hard. This is next level stuff. This is stuff I still struggle with, honestly, myself. Okay. So no judgment if you're struggling with it, but I want to give you the insight into it because it's so easy to then never really release ourselves from that because the apology falls on deaf ears. The apology isn't accepted the right way. The apology, or worse yet, we have those people in our life that keep coming back to us with the same issue. Now I'm not talking about you're a repeat offender. I'm not talking about they're like, hey, you said you were sorry for that and then you did it again. Okay, that's a totally different situation. I'm talking about things, 2 weeks, 2 years, 10 years, 20 years ago, and they still are, in that place. Now, again, if you haven't said you're sorry, you absolutely need to. Okay. But once you have, you also need to forgive yourself and you need to move on. And I know how harsh and I know how difficult that is. I know how sometimes these seemingly impossible that can feel, but it really is a must. It's really a need to. You really have to do it. Okay. Because in order for us to understand that your sharing your story heals you, you have to accept the healing. Okay. So we say we're sorry for the thing, we forgive ourselves, and then we move on. And when that person brings that thing back to us, say, hey, I really meant it when I said I was sorry to you, but I can't continue to do time for previous crimes. It's the same as when a person, goes to prison for something, they serve their time and then they're let out. Okay. We have to let them out. It's one of the things we need to really reform in the justice system is the ability to be able to really actually let people be out and let them potentially change. Now, again, it's on you to be the change, to change you. Okay. Now, I went deep in that and I spent way more time in that than maybe you think I should have, but I wanted to make sure you really truly understand that because we're here today. This is the only day we can live. We can't live tomorrow. As cool as tomorrow's going to be and all that kind of stuff, we can't live tomorrow yet. All right. We only have today. It's as my friend Ernie Villanueva used to always say, It's the only legal tender we can spend. We have today. And we need to maximize today. We need to make the absolute most out of this amazingly, incredibly wonderful day that we call today. Perfectly. Absolutely. We need to make the most use out of today. To do what? To have clarity, to be consistent, and to connect. All right. The connection, our heartbeat. We want to truly make the difference, to be the person that only we can be in the world. I wonder if that's bumping my microphone and making a really cracky sound on the thing. Okay. That's connection. That's our heart's desire. That's what we want to do. Consistency. Consistency is about you making it a priority in your schedule and then showing up. Okay. It's not just enough to schedule it and then not do it. Of course, obviously, if you're not doing it, then it's not a priority for you. It needs to be something. As we talked about earlier, I'm at an event. Okay. I'm not home. I'm in Virginia versus in central Kansas where I normally live. But being here with you is important to me. It's turned out both yesterday and today that the lunch hour started at about 20-ish minutes till um, the 1 o'clock hour. So I was able to have lunch and then come up here, and we started, if it's 11 minutes, so we started about 15 minutes late. I had a couple of things I needed to do again when I'm here at my computer, because I've intentionally not been taking work down there with me. If you need me, you can message me, you can send me an email. I do have my phone, my phone that's always with me, and I am keeping up on those things. But I'm also making room for the learning and the training and the growth, the more that I can bring to you and the more that I can learn, so I can bring more to you. All right. That's when we know it's important. Consistency. So connection is about our heartbeat. Consistency is how we show what our heart really is. If you're struggling with consistency, I really challenge you to ask yourself, how important is that really to me? And what do I need to do if it really truly is something I want to be important? What do I need to do to really move it to a level of truly being important? I encourage you to think more about that, like a lot, because I think a lot of times we miss it because our heart's in the right place, and our intentions are in the right place, but it's not really important enough to us that we put in the effort, do the work, put in the time. And that's harsh, and I understand that, but we need to look at that. Maybe we went to a conference and we got all hyped up about something, we put it in our schedule, and it isn't really the heart and soul and core of who we are and what we should be doing. That's a definite possibility. Maybe it's something we really know we should be doing, and we just need to develop the skill set. How do we develop the skill set? We go on our laptop, we pick up our phone, and we just start doing it every single day. Okay. The third maybe, and that's what we're, been talking about today, is the sharing your story heals you first. You see, you may go live for a day, a week, a month. Maybe you'll go live for an entire year. And it may be 5-second videos. I mean, if you're doing reels and clips and stuff like that, you probably are going to get people to see them. If you're doing long versions like what I'm doing here, which my team then, repurposes into reels and clips and memes and all that kind of stuff. That's why I do this. Plus, I want to spend some time here with you. Okay. And get the content out of my head, into my ears, and out to you as well. Okay. But it may be a whole year before you have any followers or before you have more than one. Statistically speaking, according to ChatGPT and the deep research I had them do, you should be looking at a minimum of 90 days of doing it consistently every day. And that's doing the right things consistently every day. And let's be honest, I mean, I've shown you over the course of these first 90 days that first 90 days, you may just be getting your shiz together. You know, you may spend 6 months, in fact, getting it all together. And that's where having a social media or a video person that can come in and say, hey, I can pull this, and hey, could you do it a little bit more this way? Could you do these kind of things? Could you do those kind of things? That's where that really comes in. That's where it really, really helps out. And that's important because your ears hearing your mouth is what helps you heal first. We've got all these things that we've all been through in life. And I'm not putting yours on a different scale from mine because yours are as big as they are for you. And mine are as big as they are for me. And either one of us could look at the other person's stuff and say, wow, I wish I had your stuff. That would be so easy. But for us, it is the thing that is the thing we struggle with. And that's okay. This gives you the capability to be able to first speak out the words and for you to be the first person you healed. I love the old Norelco commercial. No, it was Remington, actually. Remington electric shaver commercial. Because the guy was like, I loved it so much that I bought the company. Now, whether that was really actually true or not, I really have no idea. Um, but I love that verbiage. Okay. What I'm talking to you about today, I love it so much that I'm my first customer. I'm the first person in my community that is going live every single day, pouring my heart, soul, scratchy voice, sneezes, all of that out to you because I believe in you. I'm here for you. And I want to help you be the difference that you can be in the world. And I want my ears to hear me saying these kind of things. I'm reshaping and reforming everything that goes into my own mind because I use that consistent desire to connect every single day. And I'm always honing my clarity. Now, clarity is something that comes both from the doing. It's easier to move a moving car than it is one that's in park. Clarity comes from you hearing and evaluating what you're doing. And then clarity also comes from you working with somebody like me that can help you really be clear on your messaging. What is it that I'm really trying to say? Not just what is the thing that I'm passionate about, but why? And what are the words that come out of that why? And then because of that, how does that then help the people that I know I'm meant to help? And you helping you is the perfect first step in helping the people you need to help because you need to help you too. Almost always when somebody asks me how to lay out their avatar, I tell them, usually your first avatar is you. And that's good. And when you've healed and fixed and solved you, then you can move on to your second avatar, the second person. And you just keep doing that. Sharing your story is great for the people that need to hear it. But one of those people is you. All five fingers pointing at you. Sharing your story is absolutely going to heal you first. We believe that if we hold it back, that if we hide, if we don't say those things, that we'll stay safe. But the truth of the matter is that the healing and the safety really actually comes from the sharing it. When we speak it out, when we bring it into the light, when we don't give it the power over us that it had before we say it, that's where we begin to get the real clear healing and transformation in our own lives. And I want that for you. I want you to be visible. We created Visibility Amplifier Community for you to be a practice grounds and a training center for you to become visible. And I have all kinds of things in there that are extra resources that you can come in, but that group is free. Visibilityamplifier.com. Please go there right now. Join up with me. I do want to see you succeed on a way at a level that you maybe never even imagined was possible until now. I want that for you. I dream of that for you. I really do. If this resonates with you, Come and join us at visibilityamplifier.com, because speaking your story does heal you first. I'm still at the event, but we will be here again tomorrow. We're going to talk about your voice deserves the room to breathe. Your voice needs to be spoken out so that it has the space to live and breathe and grow and be all that it can be. And we'll talk about that tomorrow. But today, I want you to remember, your sharing your story will heal you first, and you're worth being hailed first. I hope that you're doing so well. I hope that you're not under the weather a little bit like what I am, that you're happy, you're safe, you feel really warmly loved, that you just, oh, you're just in Shangri-La almost from how great you feel. I want that for you. Come join us at visibilityamplifier.com. Not in visibility, but join us in visibilityamplifier.com. And until we're together again next time, which is tomorrow, I hope you have a great week.